A young military student, a stolen laptop, an extreme case of bullying. This is the story of Zulfarhan that shocked Malaysia and the world. Warning, if you are sensitive to any content that has to do with bullying, I suggest you keep scrolling. So, Zulfarhan was just 21 years old as at the time of this event. He was a student of the National Defense University of Malaysia. He was a bright young man, very quiet. He wasn't like one of the cool kids. He just minded his business and focused on achieving the goal that brought him to that school. So an incident happened in the school. There was a laptop that was stolen, and the person that owned the laptop instantly accused Zulfarhan of stealing the laptop. When they confronted him, he told them, "I don't know about your laptop. I have nothing to do with your laptop." So the guy left. When he left, he came back with up to 20 students to meet Zulfarhan, and they tied him up, tied his hand, his leg, and they gagged him, and they all had a batter with them, and they started beating him up. They beat him to a point where he was bleeding and all of that. And some of the students, observing how gruesome the scene was becoming, some of them left, and there was remaining 6 of them who were still torturing him, and they tortured him for over 2 hours. That was when one of them got the bright idea of burning the boy with a steam iron. Now, throughout the beating process, the boy still maintained his innocence, that he knows nothing about the laptop. He hasn't seen any laptop, let alone taken one. And they brought the steam iron and they started burning him. They didn't leave any place untouched, even his genital area. They burnt everything. They kept on burning him until the boy passed out from so much pain. So after that incident, he was in a bad shape, and they left him there, and he was there for days. A few days went by. Some of them started feeling remorseful, and they noticed that his situation was getting critical. So some of them suggested that they should take him to a nearby hospital for treatment, which was what they eventually did. When they got there, the doctor in the hospital asked them, what caused this? He has bruises, he has burns. How did he get in this position? And that was when they gave the story that they came from a military school, and this happened during training, that there was like an explosion that they did during training, and unfortunately he was in the way, and that was how he got burnt. And the doctor believed them, but he said, in this facility we don't have the equipment to deal with the degree of burn, because according to the doctor, in all his years of practicing, he has never seen a situation this bad. Everything was burnt. So he said they didn't have the ability or the equipment to handle it. So he gave them some drugs and referred them to a bigger hospital. And when they were cooking up all the story, the boy was too scared to say anything, because he thought if he interjects and tells the doctor what actually happened, the boys might continue torturing him when they go back to the school. So because of that, he didn't say anything. That was when the boys said okay to the doctor to taking him to a bigger hospital. And on their way, some of them suggested that if we take him to a bigger hospital, they might ask more questions and try to reach out to the school, and at that point the story we might get exposed. So we should not take him to the hospital. We should just take him back to the hostel, which was what they did. They took him back to the hostel, and the boy was just there for days, to a point where one morning they woke up and he was unresponsive. That was when some of the classmates were like, let's just take him at this point. They took him to the hospital. When they got to the hospital, he lasted 4 hours before dying. The injuries were already infected because there was no treatment, that nothing was done on it, so it was already infected. So by the time they got to the hospital, it was already too late. So when the story became public, the parents now know in details what happened, the torture that their son went through. It was devastating for the parents. No parent should have to ever hear something like that happen to their child. It's really sad. And the boys were sentenced to 9 years in prison, according to the details I have. Now, based on the gravity of this offense, do you think 9 years is enough punishment for such a crime? Let me know in the comments.